Hello guys, welcome back, UK Van Addict. Well, as always, I forgot to record when I started working in the van. So I'm doing it now. Right, so I bought loads of wood. This is for the bulkhead, which I've already started, the bed. This is the bit of wood that was in there, which is rotten at that side. So what I've done is I've used the better side, put the wood on the floor and drill around it, and I've cut it. I liked it to have been in a full sheet, but obviously it needs to come out longer than it needed to be wider, sort of. It was 55 inches that way, but obviously it was 8 foot that way, and I couldn't buy a sheet which was 8 foot by 55 inches. So I'm having to piece it in. Yeah. So there you go so far. Fits nice. Needs a good clean. It's all going to be insulated, that. Yeah, so there's the back piece. And I'll show you the inside of here now. We've got a bit of light. Oh yeah, I can see now. Perfect. Just big enough to crawl through. Not banging your head. That's comfortable, all to crawl through. And I think the bed comes out just as far as I thought it would. I did actually have taped bits where I was roughly thinking, seeing that bit there, I was thinking that's where the bed's going to come out. That piece, not the bulkhead. The bulkhead's going to be flat to here, but this is going to obviously come out further. Yeah, so I'm just making up as I go along. So I'll get the other piece measured up and cut, and I'll show you that. Right, so I've measured that piece there, and that's to this outline here. You can just see it, can't you? And I'm going to cut it with a handsaw, not the jigsaw, because it's a lot straighter cut. Right, let's get this cut then. Well, we've got so far. I need a break. Green crackered. That cut's nice and straight. Not far to go. Let's do it. Just goes to show how unfit I am. Should do a bit of cardio when I go to the gym. Right, next time I went and got a drink, gasping. Right, so that's on there. This is the original board, what was up there. So I'm using obviously the good side as a template, because well, it's going to be exactly the same both sides, isn't it? Yeah, so once I've cut that out, it should fit. I'm going to use a jigsaw to cut that out. I'm going to pencil it all out and use a jigsaw. Right, let's do that. Right, that's all penciled out. Let's get jiggy with the jigsaw. There we go. Right, let's see if it fits. Right, so that's all cut to shape. Just need to go in the garage and get some screws, and I'll put a lat on here, and then one across there, bit of of support. Yeah, let's do it. Well, there's the update. I've pieced that together. Trying to get it in there. Oh my god. I think I'm going to have to cut these pieces out, you know, just a section, you maybe just to slide it in, because it's quite tight against here. So I wanted it obviously to fit into there and fit tight to here. So when it's actually in, it's not touching there, but when it's on the floor, it's tight to the walls. Right, so let's try and get it in, because how we're going to get it in, then I've got to take it back out. Right, I've taken it down. Plan B. I have to cut where I have penciled out. Oh, yeah, it's there. Cut a slice out of there. Cut a slice out of there. And it should slide in, because it was, you know, pretty level there, ready to slide in. Just if I cut them bits out, hopefully it'll slide in. Right, so let's do this. Right, cut the all out. Let's take that back up. That's there. That's there. And that should slide in. We'll see. Look at that, like a glove. Just got to straighten it all out, square it all up, fitted straight in. Yeah, so I've just got to square it all up, and then I don't know what to do. Get it all in place, glue it, and then figure out what I'm going to do down here. Right, got to apologise about today's video, because I'm like stopping and starting, and the thing is, it took me that long thinking. Just like whacking things out and cutting things, and the video would be like 3 hours long, do you know what I mean? So that's why I've been pausing it and just doing little bits at a time. So yeah, I'm getting there anyhow. This is what I've done so far. We're getting there. It's not squared up or anything yet. So I've just cut that down. That was 8 foot. That's 2.5 now. Yeah, so that fits in nice and snug, that. So you can see there, I just need to cut, well, I don't know, there's probably only a couple of inches or so there, and then I cut the all out there. I've just thought I've put the bit of metal what I cut out there, I put that out for the scrap man, but I'll quickly grab that, which I can draw around it. Give me a rough idea of drawing around it, won't it? Sort of. Well, the diameter, the width, sorry. Yeah, so that'll give me a rough idea. I'm not just going to draw around that and cut the all out, that's just not going to work. I'm going to go into the cab, and I'm going to figure it out, pencil it, so it's somewhat near, because like it needs to be right, obviously. These boards are like 30 quid a board, so there's not room for error. There's enough money spent on this van. So yeah, so I'm going to go into the cab, pencil it out, take it out, and then cut it. I think that was maybe a bit too snug. So I'm going to have to cut a little bit off the edge of there. Well, anyhow, I've penciled a mark out. You can't really see it at the top. So hopefully I'll lay it down, and that's roughly, well, it is the hole that I'm going to cut out. So, but the pencil marks are roughly where it is, so it'll be, yeah, sort of. We'll make it right. Morning guys, this is the next day and we're starting bulkhead again. So I've drawn round that thing, what I cut out from there. Obviously I'm doing it, you know, rectangle. Drill, so I've penciled it all out, drilled the 4 holes in the corners, and I'm just starting to jigsaw it out. So let's go. Right, there we go, that's all cut out, all nice and neat with a jigsaw. You see, the opposite side of, obviously this is obviously come out of there, so the opposite side, it's all jagged. You see how it's all jagged. Well, on the fascia side, that's all smooth. And what I was told when I bought the jigsaw blades, you can see that. Let's try and zoom in. So you can see the jigsaw blade. Let's put it there, maybe a bit more steady. The cut goes down. So on a normal jigsaw blade, the blades face up, they're cut up, and that's what makes all your wood jagged. So if anyone's that's building a van, this is what I was told anyhow. So anyone that's building a van, if they ask, you know, instead of just going buying some jigsaw blades thinking, yeah, they'll do. Well, if you're doing something neat, you want the blades that cut down, not up. And that's what makes the fascia all nice and smooth. And you can see the jagged bits on the inside. So another bit of useful information. Let's I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to cut a little bit more off there. I was just see, can't you, where I've penciled it out, because it was too tight to fit in that. I had to crawl through the cab and kick it back out. So yeah, it was a bit hard to get out. So I'm going to chop a little bit more off. Just makes it a little bit easy, you know, pouring it, you know, taking it in and out and make sure everything's right. Blah blah blah. Yeah. That fits perfect. Now I've cut the end of there off. Goes in a lot better. So now I've got to cut some wood, which is there. Cut that to size. Oh, that's going to be tiring, isn't it? Cut that frigging so. Yeah, so I cut that now. Right. So I've measured this up. I've marked that one out. And there's no way I was going to cut that with a handsaw or a jigsaw. Handsaw too long, jigsaw a mess. So we'll use a track saw. Make sure I'm not chopping into the bench. Definitely not going to chop into the bench now. quicker than a jigsaw and an handsaw. Right, let's get the other one. Right. We use the bag to weigh it down so it doesn't fall over. Line that up with the rubber mat there, lock it into place, same with this side. And this is so easy, I just don't know why I didn't go in the first place. Out of the way. Oh, I still need to cut it. Oh my god. And that's all locked into place. Very expensive piece of kit that, I'll tell you. Right. So this has got a lat going across there. So obviously these pieces of wood that I've cut are not going to fit straight underneath because obviously they're there. So what I'm going to do is just notch a piece of wood out of that so it fits into there. So now I'll put one of these in so I can put it up to it, and I've got something to screw to it as well. So I'll screw it from the top and screw it there, and it just secures it all. So I'll get all that cut and I'll pause you for a minute. Right, that's in, measured. Just need to cut that with jigsaw because you're never going to see that. So. There. That one fits there. So like I said, cut a notch out so it fits inside there. We've got something to screw to. So obviously I'm gonna apply that anyhow so it's flat. Right, so I've put them bits of wood in there. So then when that piece of wood goes up to there, it's got something to screw to. Obviously I need to put a lat down the back of here as well. So the board can screw to obviously that as well. So it's going to screw to there, there and there. And obviously there's going to be a beam in the middle, you know, to screw it all to there as well, because there's two pieces there, aren't there? So right, let's get that done. Need to cut the notch out of that. Let's go. Right, that's all together. I'll close that. Just need to put some screws in that bottom piece there. I've just done some down the side of here. So just need to do the bottom of there. That's already done. It's got a lat on the side of on the back of there, one up there, and one right across along there. Like I said, I was going to cut the notch out there. It's all in tight. Right, so I'll just put some more screws in there. A little bit more done. So I've cut some little chocks and put them in there because I'm gonna put the better stuff. I don't know. So I'll choose some of that. This is too thick. This. I want something thin on it. Oh, that's rubbish. That's too thick. Possibly this piece here. And that possibly will be the same. Oh, look at that. Same width, let's just go fit up there now. So I'll just cut that to size. Perfect. Right, I've backed it out 13 1/4, and I'll cut that with the hand saw because that's going to be easy. It's only what is it? About 3 or 4 mil thick, so that's not a problem, is it? Easy job. That's that cut perfectly. I'll go look for some screws now. I'm sure I've got some in the garage. I'll go have a look. I'll be back in a minute. I think this is finished. I'm quite buzzing. It's quite a neat job really, isn't it? So the idea was, when I insulate all the walls, because obviously I'm going to get some 25mm kingspan and some 25mm lats. So every like 2 foot or so, I'm going to put a lat, and then so that's going to be all the way along. So yeah, every like 2 foot or so, because obviously the kingspan comes in 8x4s, so I'll just cut them in half and put them in between there. And the same goes for this side. I was going to do that, but I was thinking maybe I'll insulate that side for now, because I want to get a door fitted to this side, I want to take that trim off. It's not really a matter about taking that trim off, but definitely I need to take that one. And then I can get a dome. I don't know if I'm going to do it myself or I'm going to find somebody to do it or what, I don't know. But roughly, that, like the tape line, that's like the toilet. I know it's only small, but like it's only the same size as the toilet in the other van, and it's enough. All you do is go to the toilet in it. So brush your teeth in the sink, and that's about all you do. So from that tape line, well, that tape line's no good now because obviously that comes out further than that. So I'm going to have to remeasure it all out, because I want it to be 600, because the oven and the fridge freezer, the oven and fridge freezer is 500. So I want to be able to go through without scraping the skin off your hands, sort of thing. Because obviously at the back of there, I'm going to build a wall, and that's going to be my garage compartment in the back of there. Yeah, so like I said, the idea was I was going to insulate it all and get it all done, insulate all the floor, and then like get some filler, fill all these holes in, sand it, cracks, the screw holes. I'm still going to do all that. Sand all them down, and then I'm just going to paint it all white, and I'm going to do the same with the floor, but I've got some garage floor paint, some grey paint, and that'll just seal it. So I'll do that. So yeah, so this is finished, you know, this bed. The only thing that I need to do is go up there and get some weights. I've got some weights in the garage, so I'll put some weights on the back of there so it sits down on that lip, what's on the back of there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it all around. Let's just flip the camera around. So all around the edge there, I'm going to get some glue, some sort of mastic. And then, so obviously when I put the weights in there, it'll go to the lip, and then I'll glue it all. I'll put tons of it in. So that's definitely not going to move. And then I've got to figure out how to get some sort of insulation to go up there. I don't know yet. I don't know what to do. But there is some like rubber insulation with sticky back on it. I don't know how thick it is, but and yeah. So, and like I say, everything, I just want everything to be painted. So it's all like a blank canvas, everything, so it's done. The wall on the back for the garage compartment, that's going to be the last thing of all. Yeah, so let me think, what else? Yeah, we just got to figure out who's going to do the door. And I have found some an aluminium place to get some trim, you know, like what's on the back doors, what goes around it. So I can maybe do it myself. I don't know yet. I'd like to do it myself because, you know, I want to say that everything in the van, I did it. Like when it comes to building all the furniture inside, 100% I'm going to do it all. I've done it in the other van, I'm going to do it in this one. I've got bigger and better ideas. I've got all the equipment to do it. So yeah, I'll build my own kitchen, all the furniture. I'm going to have, let's just check. I'm going to have cupboards all up there. Obviously this is going to be a toilet. This area here, that's going to be a wardrobe. I mean, I can put all my clothes in a rucksack. I can cope with that, but obviously she's going to need a wardrobe, and that's going to be, let me see, so I'm hoping the water tank's going to go there, 100%, that's what I'm thinking, it's going to go on the floor there. And then obviously I'm going to have a bit of a worktop along here, because we ain't got much workspace. So then I'm going to have that's, because I've drawn it out there, that's going to be like my kitchen, well, not kitchen, but that's like going to be underneath cupboard, kitchen cupboard. I want my sink here, and then obviously that square there is roughly where the oven's going to go, oven and hob, and that's roughly where the fridge freezer's going to go. So obviously from the wheel arches, so that's coming back here, and I'm hoping to get it to about here sort of thing. The chair, I want a nice big chair. I mean, because that's a good 3.5 foot from this line here to the back of there. And that's where my boat's going to go, in the back of there. It's going to, hopefully it's going to stand up. And I even thought, I know it's brand new and I did pay quite a lot of money for it, but I love this van. I've wanted this van for a good year or more, and I've been looking for this particular van for well over a year, and getting the right height and the right length, because obviously they're either too low, too long, you know, and then they haven't got all the extras in the van. So it took, like I say, it took me a good year to find this van. It's 4.5 meters long, it's 8.5 foot high, and hopefully the boat's going to go in the back of it. I've got the van that I want. It's got, what's it got in the back? It's got cruise control, speed limiter, it's got sat nav, it's got the DAB radio, electric mirrors, electric windows, air conditioning. It's got everything, so it's like being in a car in the cab. It's brilliant. So, and like I say, getting this particular spec was pretty hard. So if push comes to shove and my boat doesn't fit in here, I'll just buy a smaller one, because my boat's blown up. It's 3.2 meters long, but obviously the tube on the back and the front, once it's deflated, I think it's, well, I know it is, it's under 8.5 foot. So I'm hoping that it's going to fit in here. The only thing that I'm worried about is this trim here, because obviously pulling the boat in, because I'm going to get a remote control winch the same. I'm just going to take it off the other van, because I'm not going to sell it with that on it, because nobody's going to use that. So I'll take the winch off there, and I'm going to get some sort of frame made, maybe some alloy frame or something, fit the winch on it, and then slide the boat into the back. So the boat's going to be in the back of the van at least 3.5 foot. Connect the winch up to the front of the boat, and then obviously winch it in, and then just pull it maybe to a side to, you know, so it goes under that lip. But like I say, it's 3.2, and if I have to, I'll buy a 3.1 meter rib. So yeah, I think we've got enough time on this video today. I know it's a bit of a slow process building the van. I haven't done a great deal on it, but you know, I'm battling with the weather as well, and having time to do it. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. See you soon.